In our first group of lessons, students learned the unit challenge to design a smarter, more sustainable smartphone. Students spent these first few lessons dissecting a smartphone and realizing that the materials inside come from the Earth. We start lesson 1.1 with a pre-assessment to gauge prior knowledge about tectonic processes and Earth's materials and systems. Students then write chain notes where they take turns writing down everything they know about minerals and then pass it on. This also allows us to introduce the key question of what minerals do we use in everyday life? A short presentation introduces minerals and the phenomena that smartphones are made from materials inside the Earth. And we end with an analogy of cookies as mineral resources, and how we all want as many cookies, or resources, available to us as possible. In 1.2, students extend the cookie analogy from the previous lesson with a plate of cookies distributed unevenly around the room. After watching a Green Ninja video related to the topic, students then discuss how the distribution affects them. We also address a few misconceptions revealed in the pre-assessment. For the warm-up in lesson 1.3, students name as many parts of a smartphone as possible. Then, using a worksheet for guidance, students dissect a smartphone and try to identify what type of material makes up each part. When we start looking at how the function of different smartphone parts relates to their shape or their materials, that's an example of this cross-cutting concept of structure and function. Lesson 1.4 is a really cool lesson because it captures two key themes from the unit. The first is about smartphone parts and materials like we've been talking about so far. Try this right now. Grab a paperclip and your phone, and try and put the paperclip against the phone. You'll find that it actually sticks in a few places. Of course, make sure you take off any case or cover. And this is because there's a powerful magnet inside that's made from the element neodymium. Like other smartphone materials, it only comes from certain places on Earth, and its properties are particularly well suited to making materials for technology. The second aspect of the lesson is that students use sensors to determine things they can't see. They use the Pocket Lab device, which contains a magnetometer to sense magnetic fields. And the goal is to move it around a phone and figure out where the magnets are on the smartphone and which ones are the most powerful. Now, in a later lesson, students are going to learn how professional scientists also use sensors to figure out the shape of the sea floor. But right now, we're analyzing our data to learn about where the magnets are in the phone and what they do. In lesson 1.5, we obtain information about mining and mineral resources. We start with a handout with some basics. Then, working in teams, students research their assigned material to find out what the material is. Is it a mineral or something called a rare earth element that they'll learn about? And what its physical properties are. Most importantly, students mark the world map with the answer to the question, where on Earth do people mine the material? In lesson 1.6, students study the world map where they marked the mineral resources. What patterns do we notice? Are Earth's material resources evenly distributed? Student teams present their research to the class and share pictures of what their resource looks like, its physical properties, and where it's mined. They then summarize their results in an analysis worksheet. Now that we've spent a lot of time at the table here on the left, it's time to go up to the wall in the unit roadmap and learn about plate motions and their evidence from Alfred Wegener and scientists that have come since him.